Hey guys, so we've done this a few times and I want to do it again, which is I want to try to get your feedback on what you would like to see again. So we had the big messy poll a while back where it was like Horizon Zero Dawn, Zelda, and several other games I don't really remember right now, but that was the big complicated one. Then more recently we had the one was like, that was just straight up like The Surge versus Prey, and Prey won. And it was, so I covered Prey. And like I'm in a similar trap. I have two games that are about to be finished-ish. One is Perception, which just launched today, but I have pre-recorded the entire thing, so I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be done around Friday-ish? Like a week from now? And meanwhile, I'm pretty far in Prey. I haven't actually finished it yet, but I'm like, okay, it seems like it's probably like, maybe like, I don't know, 3 or 4 episodes left, if I were to guess, based on the pacing of the story. I'm like, it seems pretty close to being over, but I'm not really sure. So when these two games finish, I'm trying to figure out what to play next. And I've got kind of a busy schedule of stuff going on here. And so I figured we're just going to literally sit down and watch these trailers together. And I want you guys to tell me what stuff you guys are interested in playing. So there's going to be a poll once again. So click the link in the description and stuff like that to vote. Please watch the trailers first so you can learn about what the games are, the ones you don't know about already. But first of all, we have The Surge again. This is the game that lost to Prey last time. So it's still on the docket. You could still potentially play. We could still play this next potentially. So points in this game's favor. Some people are considering it a bit of a cult hit. Some people seem to really like its approach to combat and what it sort of decided to do. It is another of the many Souls-like games, rather explicitly, of trying to use Souls-like mechanics and reimagine them in a different universe and stuff like that. Primary concern I have, of course, is that it's a game made by the people that made Lords of the Fallen, which already tried to do a Souls-like, and boy oh boy was I unimpressed with that game. But maybe they learned from that and they made something cool this time around. And the feedback being mixed is actually kind of fitting on some level, possibly, because I can't help but think about the fact like Demon's Souls was a game that had mixed responses originally, and like it was deemed to be so low quality that Sony didn't even want to publish it and put it out, and then look where we are now. So like, I'm still totally open to this, and I will probably play it sooner or later, but I'm just asking if you guys want me to play it now, basically. So let's watch the trailer.
Exponential cascade continuing throughout all Creo systems. Damage report unknown. Personnel-related collateral effects likely for most operational neural implants.
Next up we have Pyre. This is the next game from the creators of Bastion and Transistor, and this is where the schedule part comes up. So I talked about having how surged sort of like a backlogged idea of like something I plan on getting to at some point. But now this week alone, we have 4 games coming out the same week. We have on Tuesday, I believe Pyre and Fortnite both come out, and then on Thursday, both Immortal Planet and Sundered come out. I'm like, this all the same week? Come on, man! Now, and so like there's these games I'm looking forward to playing, and also coming out on top of what the freaking next game from the people that made Bastion. I'm like, no, damn it. So Pyre is some kind of party-based RPG thing. I think it might be turn-based. It's definitely some sort of tactical approach thing. As usual, I'm trying to go in blind with these games, so I'm not actively I'm not actively going in depth and researching the mechanics of these things or the stories of them, because I want to go as we go. But yeah, it's the next game from the people that made Transistor and Bastion, and Transistor showed that they were definitely leaning more heavily towards a more tactical and methodical approach to gameplay style, and that seems to continue to be the case, where now instead of just being the one girl in red, no, I think she was just called Red, actually. Now you're playing as a party of people, and maybe even managing them XCOM style a bit like that. Could be interesting. Could be significantly longer than the other 2 games they've made, judging by the shift in genre. Let's check out the trailer.
From the creators of Bastion and Transistor.
Aiutare, frati.
Meet your fellow exiles.
Gravita, stop.
Join their quest for freedom.
Avete das.
Chi sta, frati?
Discover the rights. Face your foes.
Cameras. Portare.
Gain enlightenment. Who goes free? Who remains? You decide.
Next up, we've got something that caught my eye also. It's Sundered, the next game from the people that made Jotun, a game that I've never played before, and I've also pronounced it as being Jotun until now, but I heard someone else call it Jotun, so I think that's actually how you pronounce it. I want to get around to Jotun at some point. We'll get it later when I'm done with all this stuff, I think. That was a game where you play against giant, like, Norse gods or something, or maybe not Norse, I don't know. I figured Norse because of name and everything like that, but they have, much like the people that make Bastion and Transistor and stuff, they also seem to have some beautiful art going on. And it seems to be, as far as I can tell, a Metroidvania, where as you progress through the game, you might be from what I've heard, you might even be affecting the world and elements of like, the dangers in it, where like, as you progress, things might change and stuff like that. It also just looks beautiful, and I am definitely interested in getting around to it. So let's look forward to that idea.
This infernal place has taken me hostage. Something is watching in the dark, waiting. It wants to change me. I keep coming close to death, but this world is keeping me alive. That sound. It's calling me again and again. It won't let me leave. Endless worlds surround me. They hunger for my humanity. Will I resist or embrace?
Next up, we've got Immortal Planet, yet another Souls-like. Guess my attention because it's another indie attempt at interpreting Souls-like mechanics, which, frankly, indie games have been just as successful or even more successful than AAA games so far, or AA games at trying to hop on this sort of idea. Because Salt and Sanctuary was a pretty neat concept, just in general. I had a minor issue with it in that the lack of a map felt slightly more iffy once you take Souls-like back into being the 2D Metroidvania camera angle, but still. But so this is a top-down attempt at the Souls-like thing. They're really explicit about that because they keep mentioning that kind of concept in their marketing, I believe, or when they tweeted at people as being a Souls-like game. So I'm not just pulling this comparison out of my ass. My only gripe is that when I look at the video, I can't help but it almost looks like it's almost like the same location in every shot they do, and I can't help but wonder how much content there is or how much variety there is. So I'm slightly apprehensive, much like the Surge. So while I'm like, on one level I'm like, it's a Souls-like, let's play it because it fits into the thing I do, but on the other hand I'm like, I have some concerns. But yeah, these are all the games I'm looking forward to playing right now. I also have a backlog of games I need to get around to, like stuff like probably like Rain World and Hollow Knight and Shovel Knight's expansion that I'm so late on now because it came out it came out like around the time Zelda was coming out and stuff like that. So like I'm so far behind on all that stuff. But these are the ones I'm currently looking at right now. Go in and do your votes. You can vote for multiple games because I will probably play 2 of these in the near future, as Prey and Perception end, and then maybe I'll play the other ones right after and stuff like that, but I'm trying to figure out what to give priority based on what you guys are most interested in, because I have a limited bandwidth and games like to come out at the same time. Calm down, games. Calm down. There's so many of you. How does anyone keep track of all this? As far as Fortnite I mentioned earlier, that's a multiplayer thing, so that is... I just get together on certain evenings of the week with Wander and Bird, and we play multiplayer. And so sometimes it's PlayerUnknown Battleground, or Orcs Must Die Unchained, or EDF 4.1, and in this case, we'll probably this week be playing a fair amount of Fortnite, so that doesn't really fit into the poll, because it just slots into our normal competitive, our normal multiplayer timing, and just kind of is a thing where those games fight for time against each other, but that's not really that's a decision for us to make. Thanks for watching. Like always, please go vote, because I want to hear from you guys, because picking is hard sometimes when I'm getting deluged. But I am getting to pick, in that I'm picking these games to begin with as even being choices, so I'm not completely handing over control of the channel to the viewers, but there's too many. The games I want to play are too many. Help.